Netflix has a bad reputation when it comes to docuseries, and the latest Amber Heard vs. Johnny Depp series is no exception. By this point, people are likely aware of the huge trial that took place last year. It lasted for months and grabbed the attention of the entire world. It is likely the most significant court case since the trial of O.J. Simpson. The trial captivated the whole world due to the nature of the allegations. When Me Too started, everyone in Hollywood was exposed for their problematic behaviour. In many ways, it was precisely what the industry needed. However, like any movement, it quickly devolved into something completely different. It did not take long for bad actors to start attaching themselves to the movement, using it to advance their self-interest. In the internet age, people have been divided into two camps. You will be dismissed as a liar, or there will be unconditional belief no matter what. Many people always ask the same question. Why would people lie about something like this? The answer is, of course, much more straightforward than many would like to admit. You have bad people doing bad things for bad reasons. People do crazy things when they want attention. They harass people in public, lie about hate crimes, and do every other crazy thing you can think of. There are YouTube channels dedicated to torturing animals for views. If that exists, is it that crazy that people would lie about other things, too? It should be noted that the opposite is also true. A group of people will dismiss allegations before they even hear them. Often reported cases of abuse are true, and thus, it is important to investigate them. This leads me back to the Amber Heard vs. Johnny Depp trial. When Amber Heard came out with her own story stating that she was a victim of abuse by her previous husband, it immediately raised eyebrows. However, she did not mention names. People quickly made the connections. Amber Heard should be allowed a platform to tell her story, and the allegations should have been taken seriously. If you dismissed her without first hearing the facts, you would be no better than the Twitter losers who prescribe the idea of unconditional belief no matter what. Regardless, the allegations were made, and Johnny Depp was not too pleased being dragged into all of this. It was devastating to his career, and he lost out on his Harry Potter spin-off role, where he played Grindelwald in Pirates of the Caribbean, in which he played the iconic Captain Jack Sparrow. Depp denied these allegations and sued the Sunday Times, which first reported them. He lost the case and later decided to take things further against Amber Heard, suing her. This trial revealed that Johnny Depp might not have been as guilty as many first perceived. Details surfaced that proved he was on the receiving end of most of the abuse. After a lengthy trial, he beat the charges and cleared his name in the eyes of the public. He was awarded over $10 million in damages and donated it to charity. It was an important session on how not to judge until all the evidence is out. Sadly for Depp, the damage was already done. Some still believe he is a horrible woman beater and guilty of all charges. Although he likely does share some guilt, it is not close to what some people still think of him. It is not just people on the internet who continue to hold on to this negative perception of Johnny Depp. Many in the media also hold this perception of Depp and continue to portray him as some horrible monster. Netflix has now decided to do the same and is being destroyed by critics and fans for how they remember the trial. It is worth pointing out that the bar for Netflix could be a lot higher, but this is a low even for them. Netflix states that they are unbiased in their approach. However, watching the docuseries makes it clear who they favor. They conclude that the trial was decided due to the internet perspective. In the series, they highlight the streamers who covered the case and conclude that this type of online coverage decided the result. They state that the coverage by social media was for Johnny Depp, and thus, he won. This is a particular type of irony, considering the coverage of the press. Social media was for Depp because they saw the evidence with their own eyes. Many in the media, though, was for Heard. The press was aggrievedly against Johnny Depp when he lost his first court case against the Sunday Times. In this case, though, Netflix does not draw the same conclusions. The series does not paint Depp in the best of light. Instead, it heavily focuses on Heard as the victim. Netflix has the right to push this narrative, but they must also be honest. If you are going to slant your story in a specific direction, you need to clarify that you think Amber Heard was wronged and that your documentary aims to correct that. You cannot present yourself as objective and choose sides. A significant narrative that Netflix pushes is that Amber Heard never wanted this attention. She did not want the cameras in the courtroom, but Johnny Depp pushed for this. This is undoubtedly the case, but it is easy to understand why. He was accused of being a domestic abuser when everyone was out for blood during the Me Too movement. It is natural to want to clear your name to the public after you have been smeared in the public. You can't make public accusations and then want to address them privately. He was blacklisted from Hollywood after the original story broke. He wanted a case to clear his name in the court of public opinion. No one expected him to win the court case. Depp wanted to tell his story to the world. He knew the media would never tell his story, so he asked for the cameras. The audience score for this series is 13%. This is an extremely low number. What is more surprising is the 29% from the critics. Usually, critics will go out of their way to defend these types of things. The series has been out for over a week and only has 100 reviews. This tells me that people likely know it is not worth watching. Most likely, expect it to be slanted toward Amber Heard. There has also been other controversy surrounding this documentary. One YouTuber claimed that Netflix used their footage in the series without their content. Netflix then claimed the footage as their own, and copyright struck the original poster and anyone else who used it. I want to be surprised, but this is expected. Netflix is known for doing things like this. If you followed the trial, you do not need to see this docuseries. There is no new information, and they retell the same story in defense of Amber Heard.